crime of stealing a pair of ladies' shoes, I hereby sentence you to transportation to New South Wales and incarceration for a period of 14 years.
At night, the sea cracks against the ship. Fear screams, whispers, all silent, hushed, spewed from our country, forgotten, down to the dark edge of the earth. At night, what is there to do but seek English cunt, warm, moist, soft. Oh, the comfort of the lick, the thrust into the nooks, the crannies of the crooks of England. Alone, frightened, nameless in a stinking hole of hell. Take me inside you, whoever you are. Take me, my comfort, and we'll remember England, together.
Hunger. Funny. Doesn't start in the stomach, but in the mind. A picture flits in and out of a corner. Something you've eaten long ago. Roast beef with salt and grated horseradish.
I don't know why I did it. Love, I suppose.
A giant canoe drifted onto the sea, clouds billowing from upright oars. This is a dream which has lost its way. Best to leave it alone.
In the late spring, when the small birds sing and the lambs do sport and play, I entered as a passenger to New South Wales did sail. We bid farewell to all that dwell and the boys of the Shamrock shore. The ship that we set sail upon, Sirius was her name. For full 5 months and longer, we sailed the foaming main. Neither land nor harbor could we see, nor the boys of the Shamrock shore. On the 14th of September, we then did reach the land. We went ashore at Sydney Cove, all chained hand to hand. My sentence is for 14 years. Farewell to the Shamrock shore.
necessary to cross 15,000 miles of ocean to erect another Tyburn?
I should think it would make the convicts feel more at home.
This land is under English law. The court found them guilty and sentenced them accordingly. There! It's a bald-eyed Corella.
But hanging?
Only the 3 found guilty of stealing from the colony stores. Ah, and on the eucalyptus, it's a flock of Cactua galerita. The sulphur-crested cockatoo. You've been made Governor-in-Chief of a paradise of birds, Arthur.
And not, I hope, of a human hell, Davy. Don't shoot yet, Watkin. Let's observe them. Could we not be more humane?
Justice and humaneness have never gone hand in hand. The law is not a sentimental comedy.
I'm not suggesting they go without punishment. It's the spectacle of hanging I object to. The prisoners will feel that nothing has changed and will go back to their old ways.
The convicts never left their old ways, Governor, nor do they intend to.
3 months isn't long enough to decide that. You're speaking too loud, Watkin.
I commend your endeavour to oppose the baneful influence of vice with the harmonising acts of civilization, Governor. But I suspect your edifice will collapse without the mortar of fear.
Have these men lost all fear of being flogged?
John Arscott's been sentenced to 150 lashes for assault already.
The shoulder blades are exposed at about 100 lashes. And I would say that somewhere between 250 and 500 lashes, you're probably condemning a man to death anyway.
With the disadvantage that the death is slow, unobserved, and cannot serve as a sharp example.
Harry.
The convicts laugh at hangings, sir. They watch them all the time.
It's their favourite form of entertainment, I should say.
Perhaps because they've never been offered anything else.
Perhaps we should build an opera house for the convicts.
We learned to love such things when they were offered to us as children or young men. Surely no one is born naturally cultured. I'll have the gun.
But we don't even have any books here, apart from the odd play and a few Bibles, and most of the convicts can't read. So let's return to the matter in hand, which is the punishment of the convicts, not their education.
Who are the condemned men, Harry?
Thomas Barrett, sir, aged 17. Transported 7 years for stealing 1 ewe sheep.
17?
Well, it does seem to prove that the criminal tendency is innate.
It proves nothing.
James Freeman, 25, Irish. Transported 14 years for assault on a sailor at Shadwell Dock.
I'm surprised he wasn't hanged in England.
Yeah.
Handy Baker, the Marine and the thieves' ringleader.
No. He pleaded that it was wrong to put convicts and Marines on the same rations. Said he couldn't work on so little food. Almost swayed us.
I do think that was a most unfortunate decision. My men are in a ferment of discontent.
Our Governor-in-Chief would say that that is justice, Tench, and so it is. It is also justice to hang these men.
And the sooner the better, I believe. There's much excitement in the colony about the hangings. That's their theatre, Governor. You cannot change that.
I would prefer them to watch real plays. Fine language. Sentiment.
No doubt Garrick would relish the prospect of 8 months at sea for the pleasure of entertaining a group of criminals and the odd savage.
I never liked Gary. I always preferred Macklin.
Ah, I'm a Kemble man myself.
Come on.
So, we will need a hangman?
Harry, you'll have to organise the hangings and eventually find someone who agrees to fill that hideous office.
Shot?
Shot! Shot, sir!
It's my belief the hanging should take place tomorrow. The quick execution of justice for the good of the colony, Governor.
The good of the colony? Oh, look, we frightened a kangaroo.
Oh. There's also Dorothy Hanlon, 82. She stole a biscuit from Robert Sideway.
Surely we don't have to hang an 82-year-old woman?
No, that will be unnecessary. She hanged herself this morning.
Dreamt, my beloved Alicia, that I was walking with you and that you were in your riding habit. Oh, my dear woman, when shall I be able to hear from you? All the officers dined with the governor. I never heard of any one single person having so great a power vested in him as Captain Phillip has by his commission as Governor-in-Chief of New South Wales. I dined on a cold collation, but the mutton which had been killed yesterday morning was full of maggots. Nothing will keep 24 hours in this dismal country, I find. Went out shooting after breakfast. I only shot one cockatoo. They are the most beautiful birds. Major Ross ordered one of the corporals to flog with a rope Elizabeth Morgan for being impertinent to Captain Campbell. The corporal did not play with her, but laid it home, which I was very glad to see. She has long been fishing for it. On Sunday, as usual, kissed your dear beloved image 1,000 times. Was very much frightened by the lightning, as it broke very near my tent. Several of the convicts have gone away. If I'm not made first lieutenant soon... Harry!
I saw the light in your tent.
I was writing my journal. Is there any trouble?
No. I just came. Talk. You know. If I wrote a journal about my life, it'd fill volumes. Volumes! My travels with the captain. His Excellency now. Governor-in-Chief, no less. How to raise armies, build cities. I still call him plain Captain Philip. He likes it from me. There was a war in America, and before that, Ralph, my life in London. That'd fill a volume on its own. Not what you'd call a good life. Sometimes I look at the convicts and I think, one of them could be you, Harry Brewer, if you hadn't joined the Navy when you did. The officers may look down on me now, but what if they found out I used to be an embezzler?
Harry, you should keep these things to yourself.
You're right, Ralph. I think the captain suspects, but he's a good man and looks for different things in a man.
Like what?
Hard to say, really. He likes to see something unusual. Ralph, I saw Handy Baker last night.
You hanged him a month ago, Harry.
He had a rope, Ralph. He's come back.
It was a dream. Sometimes I think my dreams are real, but they're not.
We used to hear you on the ship, Ralph, calling for your Betsy Alicia.
Don't speak her name on this iniquitous shore.
Duckling's gone silent on me again. I know it's because of Handy Baker. I saw him as well as I see you. Duckling wants me, he said, even if you've hanged me. At least your poker's danced its last shindy, said I. At least it's young and straight, she likes her. I went for him, Ralph, but he was gone. But he's going to come back, I know it. I didn't want to hang him, Ralph.
He did steal that food from the stores. I voted with the rest of the court that those men should be hanged. I didn't know His Excellency would be against it.
Duckling says she never feels anything. How do I know she didn't feel something when she was with him? She thinks I hanged him to get rid of him, but I didn't, Ralph. Do you know I saved her life? She was sentenced to be hanged at Newgate for stealing 2 candlesticks, but it was me who got her name put on the transport lists. I remind her of that. She says she wouldn't have cared. 18 years old, and she didn't care if she was turned off. These women are sold before they're 10, Ralph. The captain says that we should treat them with kindness.
How can you treat such women with kindness? Why does he think that?
Well, not all the officers find them disgusting, Ralph. Haven't you ever been tempted?
Never! His Excellency never seems to notice me. Only finds time for Davy Collins, Lieutenant Dawes.
Well, that's because Captain Collins is going to write about the customs of the Indians here. And Lieutenant Dawes is recording the stuff.
I could write about the Indians.
He did suggest to Captain Tench that we do something to educate the convicts. Put on a play or something. Captain Tench just laughed. He doesn't like Captain Tench.
A play? Who would act in a play?
Well, the convicts, of course. He's thinking of talking to Lieutenant Johnston, but I think Johnston wants to study the plants.
I read The Tragedy of Lady Jane Grey on the ship. It is such a moving and uplifting play. Oh, but how could a whore play Lady Jane?
But some of them women are good women, Ralph. I believe my Duckling's good. It's not her fault. If only she would look, once, react. Who wants to fuck a corpse? I'm sorry, Ralph. I didn't mean to shock you. I have shocked you, haven't I? I'll go.
Is His Excellency serious about putting on a play?
When the captain decides something, Ralph.
If I went to him... No, it would be better if you did, Harry. You could tell His Excellency how much I like the theatre.
No, I didn't know that, Ralph. I'll tell him.
A duckling could be in it if you wanted.
I wouldn't want her to be looked at by all the men.
If His Excellency doesn't like Lady Jane, we could find something else. A comedy, perhaps.
I'll tell him, Ralph. I like you. It's good to talk. You don't think I killed him, then?
Who?
Andy Baker.
No, Harry. You did not kill Andy Baker.
Thank you, Ralph.
Harry, you won't forget to talk to His Excellency about the play.
I heard you was looking somewhere, Lieutenant. Here I am.
I've asked to see some women to play certain parts in a play.
Oh, I can play Lieutenant. I can play with any part you like.
The play has 4 particular parts for young women.
You don't want young women for your peculiar Lieutenant. They don't know nothing. Shut your eyes and I'll play you as tight as a virgin.
No, you don't understand, Long. Here's the play. It's called The Recruiting Officer.
Oh, I can do that too.
What?
Recruit him. Anybody you like. You want women? You ask me. Who do you want?
Well, I want to try some out.
Oh, good idea, Lieutenant. Good idea.
Now, if you don't mind... Long!
We thought you was a magical.
A what?
You know, a fluter. A Molly. A pretty covert girl. You haven't no she-lag on the ship. Nor here neither. On the ship, maybe you seasick. But all these months here... And now we hear you on a lot of women. And all at once. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Lieutenant. I am. You let me know when you want me. Oh, shitty man.
Yeah, Mr. Clark. I'm calling you Mr. Clark. There's one called Mr. Garrett. Mr. Garrett.
We've not had the pleasure of meeting before.
I've seen you on the ship.
Oh, different circumstances, Mr. Clark. Best forgotten. I was once a gentleman, but my fortune has turned the wheel. Ah, you're doing a play, I hear. Drury Lane, Mr. Garrett, the lovely Peg Woffington. He was so cruel to her. She was so pale.
You say you were a gentleman, Sideway?
Top of my profession, Mr. Clark. Pickpocket. Born and bred in Bermondsey. Do you know London, sir? Don't you miss it. In these, my darkest hours, I remember my happy days in that great city. London Bridge at dawn, and on Cold Iron for good luck. Down Cheapside with the market traders, never refuse a mince pie. Into St Paul's churchyard, I do love a good church. And begin work in Bond Street. There, I've spotted her. Rich, plump, not of the best class, stands in front of the shop, clucking up courage. I pluck her. When? Time for coffee until 5, and the pinnacle, the glory of the day, Drury Lane. Ah, the coaches, the actors scuttling, the gentlemen watching, the ladies tittering, the clothes, the perfumes, the handkerchiefs. Hey, Mr. Clark, you see the skill? Oh, Mr. Clark, I beg you, I entreat you to let me perform on your stage, to let me feel once again the thrill of a play about to begin. Oh, I see ladies approaching. Our future Woofington Siddons. Ladies. Shall I wait your word of command, Mr. Clark? I shall be in the wings.
You asked to see Mary Brennan, Lieutenant. Here she is.
Yes, the governor has asked me to put on a play. Do you know what a play is?
I've seen lots of plays, Lieutenant. So's Mary.
Have you, Brennan?
Yes.
Do you remember which plays you've seen?
No.
I can't remember what they were called. but I always knew when they were going to end badly. I knew right from the beginning. How's this one end, Lieutenant?
It ends happily. It's called The Recruiting Officer.
Mary wants to be in your play, Lieutenant, and so do I.
Do you think you have a talent for acting, Brennan?
Of course she does! And so do I. I want to play Mary's friend.
Sylvia, that's the part I want to try Brennan for, doesn't have a friend. She has a cousin, but they don't like each other.
Oh. Well, Mary don't always like me.
The Reverend Johnson tells me you can read and write, Brennan.
She went to school until she was 10. She used to read to us on the ship. We loved it. It put us to sleep.
Perhaps we could try reading some of the play. Well, I meant read out aloud, as you did on the ship. I'll help you. I'll read Justice Balance. That's your father.
The chap's sweetheart?
Yes, but this scene is with her father.
What's the name of her lover?
Captain Plume.
Captain Mary!
Start here, Brennan.
Whilst there is life, there is hope.
Oh, I like that, Lieutenant. This is a good
She
play.
hasn't finished. Start again, Brennan. That's good.
Whilst there is life, there is hope, sir. Perhaps my brother may recover.
Excellent, Brennan. Very fluent. Now I'll read. We have but little reason to expect it. Poor Owen. But the decree is just. I was pleased with the death of my father because he left me an estate. And now I'm punished with the loss of an heir to inherit mine. This is a comedy. They don't really mean it. It's to make people laugh. The death of your brother makes you sole heiress to my estate, which you know is about £1,200 a year.
£1,200? It must be a comedy.
My desire of being punctual in my obedience requires that you would be plain in your commands.
Well said, Mary, well said.
I think that's enough. You read very well, Brennan. Would you also be able to copy the play? We have only the 2 copies.
Of course she will, Lieutenant. Where do I come in? The cousin?
Can you read, Bryant?
Not those marks in the books, Lieutenant. But I read other things. I read dreams very well, Lieutenant, very well.
I don't think you're right for Melinda. I'm thinking of someone else. And if you can't read, then
Mary will read me the lines, Lieutenant.
Father's Rose.
Rose? I like the name. I'll be Rose. Who is she?
She's a country girl.
I grew up in Devon, Lieutenant. I'm perfect for Rose. What's she do?
She, well, it's complicated. She falls in love with Sylvia, but it's because she thinks Sylvia's a man. And they, well, she sleeps with her. Rose with Sylvia, and Sylvia too, with Rose. But nothing happens.
It doesn't? Nothing?
No, because although Sylvia's pretending to be a man, of course she can't actually...
Play the flute. She's not the only one around here, Lieutenant. I'll do Rose.
No, I should like to hear you.
I don't know any lines yet, Lieutenant. But when I do, I'll let you hear me. Now, come on, Mary.
No, I didn't say you could. I'm not certain you're the right sort of... Bryant, I'm not certain I want you in the play.
Yes, you do, Lieutenant. Mary will read me the lines. And I, Lieutenant, will read you your dreams.
Ah, your cousin, Melinda, Sylvia's cousin.
You can't have her in the play, Lieutenant.
Why not?
You don't have to be able to read the future to know that Liz Morden's going to be hanged.
I understand you want me in your play, Lieutenant. Is that it? I'll look at it and let you know.
A play? A frippery frittering play? Here.
To celebrate the King's birthday on June the 4th.
If a frigate and ship doesn't appear soon, we'll all be struck with stricture and starvation. And you a play.
Yeah, but not putting on the play won't bring us a supply ship, Robbie.
And you say you want these contumelious convicts to act in this play? The convicts!
The play has several parts for women. We have no other women here.
Ah, your wife accepted, Reverend.
My wife abhors anything of that nature. After all, actresses are not famed for their morals.
No, neither are all women convicts.
How can they be when some of our officers set them up as mistresses?
Oh, filthy, thieving, lying whores! And now we have to watch them flout their flitty wares on a stage.
No one will be forced to watch the play.
I believe there's a partial lunar eclipse that night.
I shall have to watch that. The sky of this southern hemisphere is full of wonders.
Oh.
Have you looked at the constellations?
Oh, constellations and plays. This is a convict colony. The prisoners are here to be punished, and we are here to make sure they get punished. Constellations, Jamie.
Marines, we are indeed here to supervise the convicts who are already being punished by their long exile. Surely they can also be reformed.
We are talking about criminals, often hardened criminals. They have a habit of vice and crime. Many of them seem to be born that way. It's in their nature.
Rousseau would say that we have made them that way, Watkin. Man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains.
But Rousseau was a Frenchman.
A Frenchman? What can you expect? We're going to listen to a foraging Frenchman now.
He was Swiss, actually.
Oh, aye, they were good soldiers, the Swiss. Surely you believe that man can be redeemed, Reverend?
By the grace of God and a belief in the true church, yes. But Christ never proposed putting on plays to his disciples. However, he didn't forbid it. It must depend on the play.
Well, he did propose treating sinners, especially women who are sinned, with compassion. Most of the women convicts here have committed small crimes.
Yes, well, we know about your compassion, not to say passion for the women convicts.
No, a crime is a crime. You commit a crime or you don't. If you commit a crime, you're a criminal. Surely that is logical. It's like these savages here. A savage is a savage because he behaves in a savage manner. To expect anything else is foolish. They can't even build a proper canoe.
They can be educated.
Actually, they seem happy enough as they are. They don't want to build canoes or houses, nor do they appear to suffer from greed or ambition.
Unlike some.
Which can't be said about convicts, but really, I don't see what all this has to do with putting on a play. It is at most a passable diversion, an entertainment to while away the hours of the idle.
Now, the convict's born idle.
Aye.
But we're whiling away precious hours. Now, put the play on. Don't put it on. It won't change the shape of the universe.
It might change the nature of our little society.
Second Lieutenant Clark changed society.
My dear Ralph, a bunch of convicts making fools of themselves, mouthing words written no doubt by some London ass, will hardly change the nature of our society.
George Farquhar was not an ass. And he was from Ireland.
An Irishman? I have to sit there and listen to an Irishman.
The Irish, the wild. The play doesn't propagate Catholic doctrine, does it?
He was also an officer.
Running for promotion.
Of the Grenadiers.
Well, I never liked the Grenadiers myself.
Grenades, blow and run.
But
The play is called The Recruiting Officer.
Ah, now, I saw that in London, I believe.
Typical.
Yes, it's really very funny, if I remember. Yes, there's this Sergeant Kite. The devious ways he used to serve his captain.
Your part, Ralph.
William, if you can't contribute anything useful to this discussion, keep quiet.
What is the plot, Ralph?
Well, it's about this recruiting officer and his friend, and they fall in love with these two young ladies from Shrewsbury. And after some difficulties, they marry them.
It sanctions holy matrimony, then?
Yes, it does.
Ah, that wouldn't do the convicts any harm. I'm having such trouble getting them to marry instead of this sordid cohabitation they're so used to.
they manage plays. Why not just have a ball for the convicts?
Some of these men will have finished their sentence in a few years' time. They will become members of society again and help to create a new society in this colony. Should we not encourage them now to think and act in a responsible manner?
I don't see how a comedy about two lovers will do that either.
The theatre is an expression of civilization. We belong to a great country that has spawned great playwrights. Shakespeare, Marlowe, Johnson, and even in our own time, Sheridan. The convicts will be speaking a literate, refined language and expressing sentiments of a delicacy they're not used to. It will remind them that there is more to life than crime, punishment, and we, this colony of a few hundred, will be watching this together. For a few hours we will no longer be despised prisoners and hated jailers. We will laugh we may be moved. We may even think a little.
Yes. Well done.
Can you suggest something else that will provide such an evening, Watkins?
Mapping the stars gives me more enjoyment, personally.
I just don't think it's a good idea having convicts laugh at officers, Arthur.
Do you want this vice-ridden vermin to enjoy themselves? They already laughed at Sergeant Kite.
Oh, yes, Captain Plume is a most attractive, noble fellow.
He's not loose, is he, Ralph? I hear many of these plays are about rakes and encourage loose morals in women. Absolutely. They do get married. Before.
Oh, come on.
That is before. And for the right reason.
They marry for love and to secure wealth.
That's all right.
I would simply say that if you want to build a civilization, there are more important things than putting on a play. If you want to teach your convicts anything, teach them to farm, to build houses, teach them a sense of respect for property, teach them thrift so they don't eat a week's rations in one night, but above all, teach them how to work. Not to sit around laughing at a comedy.
The Greeks would have said that it was a citizen's duty to watch a play. It was a form of work in that it required attention, judgment, patience, all social virtues.
And the Greeks were conquered by the more practical Romans, Arthur.
Indeed, the Romans built their bridges, but they also spent many centuries wishing they were Greeks. And the Romans, after all, were conquered by barbarians, or by their own mean and corrupt spirits.
Are you saying that Rome would not have fallen if the theatre had been better?
Why not? In my own small way, in just a few hours, I have seen something change. I asked some of the convict women to read me some lines. These women who behave often no better than animals. And it seemed to me, as one or two, I'm not saying all, not at all, but one or two, saying these well-balanced lines of Mr. Farquhar's, they seem to acquire a dignity. They seem to lose some of their corruption. Oh, there was one, Mary Brennan. She read so well. Perhaps this play may keep her from selling herself to the first Marine who offers her bread.
She'll sell herself to him instead.
Yes, that's the way the wind blows.
No, I speak about her, but in a small way, this play could affect all the convicts, and even ourselves. We could forget our worries about the supplies, the floggings and the hangings, and think of ourselves at the theatre in London with our wives and children. That is, we could transcend the darker, the brutalities, and remember our better natures, and remember
England.
And where did the wee lieutenant learn to speak?
He must have had one of his dreams.
You are making claims that cannot be substantiated, Ralph. It's 2 hours. Possibly of amusement, possibly of boredom. But we will lose the labour of the convicts during the time they're rehearsing the play. It's a waste, an unnecessary waste.
I'm still concerned about the content.
And the content of the play is irrelevant.
Well, even if it teaches insubordination, or disobedience, or revolution.
Since we have agreed it can do no harm, since it might possibly do some good, and since the only person violently opposed to it is Major Ross, for reasons he has not made quite clear, I suggest we allow Ralph to rehearse his play.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Does anyone disagree?
I did.
Yes. Well, we've taken your disagreement into account, Robin.
I would like to agree with Mr.
Well, thank you, Captain Campbell. Dawes! Dawes! Do come back down to earth for a moment and honour us with your attention.
What?
The play.
No. Oh, why not? As long as I don't have to watch it.
Johnston.
I'm for it.
Faddy?
I'm against it.
Could you tell us why?
I don't trust the director.
Faddy?
Tench. You talking to me?
Tench.
Waste of time.
The Reverend, our moral guide, has no objections.
Of course, I have dread it.
me, this is not an objective summing up. This is typical of your high-handed attitude.
I don't think you're the one to accuse others of a high-handed attitude,
Gentlemen, have you been in charge now?
Gentlemen! Please! Sit down,
Your Excellency, I believe, is for the play. And I myself am convinced it will prove a most interesting experiment. So let us conclude with our good wishes to Ralph for a successful production.
Well, I will not accept this. You willy-wally me on your wobbly words, your Greeks, and your Romans, and your experiment to get your own way. Because you don't take anything seriously, but I know this play. This play, order, will become disorder. The theatre leads to threatening theory. And you, Governor, you have His Majesty's commission to build castles, cities, raise armies, administer a military colony, and no fandangle about with a lewdy play. And I will write to the Admiralty about this.
You're out of turn, Robbie!
Right.
A confusion. Why is Robbie so upset? So much fuss over a play.
Major Ross will never forgive you, Ralph.
I've summed up the feelings of the assembled company, Arthur, but the last word must be yours.
The last word, gentlemen, will be the play.
It's almost beginning to look like a town. There's the captain's house. You can see him in his garden. Sydney. He could have found a better name. Ladstown, Modbury, Brooklyn Cove, eh? The captain said it had to be named after the Home Secretary. The courthouse looks impressive, all in brick. There's Lieutenant Dawes' observatory. Why don't you look, Duckling? Trees look more friendly from here. Do you know the eucalyptus tree can't be found anywhere else in the world? Captain Collins told me that. Isn't that interesting? Lieutenant Clark says the 3 orange trees on his island are doing well. It's the turnips he's worried about. He thinks they're being stolen, but he's too busy with his play to go and have a look. Do you want to see the orange trees, Duckling? I thought you'd enjoy rowing Ralph's Island. I thought it'd remind you of rowing on the Thames. Look how blue the water is, Duckling. I'll say something, Duckling.
If I was rowing on the Thames, I'd be free.
This isn't Newgate, Duckling.
I wish it was.
Duckling.
Mr. Julie Jane of Newgate left you alone and you could talk to other women.
I let you talk to the women.
Esther Abrams, Mary Brennan.
They're good women.
I've got nothing to say to those women, Harry. A friend in the women's camp.
Oh, it's not the women you're after in the women's camp. I know you. It's the Marines who come looking for buttock. Who have you got your eyes on there, eh? A corporal? Another Marine? A soldier? Hey, who? You found someone already, haven't you? Where do you go? On the beach? In my tent like the Dandy Baker, eh? Where? Under the trees? Where?
You know I hate trees. Don't be so filthy.
Filthy? Filthy? You're the one who's filthy. Look, I'm sorry, darling. Just... Why can't you just be with me? I'd do anything for you, you know that. Just what do you want, Duckling?
I just don't want to be watched all the time. I wake up in the middle of the night and you're watching me. What do you think I'm going to do in the middle of my sleep, Harry? Watching, watching, watching. Just stop watching me.
You want to leave me? All right, go and live in the women's camp. Leave if you want to. You're filthy. Sell yourself to a convict for a biscuit.
Why are you so angry with your duckling, Harry? Don't you like it when I open my legs wide to you? Cross them over you the way you like it? Your duckling doesn't want to leave you, Harry. What do you do when she's there to touch you with her soft fingertips, the way you like it? First the left nipple, then the right. Your duckling doesn't want to leave you, Harry.
Duckling.
I need freedom sometimes, Harry.
You have to earn your freedom with good behaviour.
You should just let him hang me and take the corpse with you. You could have kept that in chains. Oh, I wish I was dead. At least when you're dead, you're free.
You know Lieutenant Clark's play? Do you want to be in it? Dabby Bryant is in it and Liz Morden. You could be in it if you wanted. You'd rehearse in the evenings with Lieutenant Clark.
Oh, and he can watch over me instead of you.
Look, I'm trying to make you happy, Duckling. If you don't want to...
Play! How is Lieutenant Clark going to manage Liz Morden?
The captain wanted her to be in it.
On the ship you used to see, you can make Lieutenant Clark blush first. It didn't take long.
Hey, you're not going to try anything with Lieutenant Clark, are you?
With that, Molly? No.
You're talking to me again. You kiss your Harry. I'll come and watch the rehearsals.
So farewell, my husband dear. I hope you'll dine alone and shed ye not a bitter tear when I am far from Devon. My comrades all agree for me, and one request I'll ask of you. My steadfast love shall be for me when I am far from Devon. So farewell, for I am bound for 20 years to Van Diemen's Land. Think of me and what I've done when I am far from Devon. So far away my heart's with you, those happy hours from us they flew, and I must bid a sad adieu, a last farewell to Devon.
Are you remembering your lines, Dabby?
What lines? Nah, I was remembering Devon. I was on my way back to Bigbury Bay.
You promised Lieutenant Clark you'd learn your lines.
I want to go back. I want to see a wall of stone. I want to hear the Atlantic breaking into the estuary. I can bring a boat into any harbour in any weather. I can do it as well as the governor.
Dabby, what about your lines?
I'm not spending the rest of my life in this flat, brittle, burnt-out country. Oh, give me some English rain.
It rains here.
It's not the same, Mary. I could recognise English rain anywhere. And Devon rain, Mary, Devon rain's the softest in England. As soft as your breasts. As soft as Lieutenant Clark's dimpled
Dabby,
chin.
don't.
You're wasting time, girl. He's right for the plucking. You can always tell with men, they begin to walk sideways. And if you
Don't start. I listened to you once before.
And what would you have done with that lanky sailor drooling over you?
I would have been less of a whore.
Listen, my darling, you're only a virgin once. You can't go to a man and say, I'm a virgin, apart from this one lover I had. After that, it don't matter how many men go through you.
I'll never wash the sin away.
If God didn't want women to be yours, he shouldn't have created men who pay for their bodies. While you were with your little sailor friend, there were women in that stinking pit of a hold with 3 men on them at once. Men with the pox, men with the flats, men biting like dogs.
But if you don't agree to it, then you're not a whore, you're a martyr.
You have to be a virgin to be a martyr, Mary, and you didn't come on this ship a virgin. A.H., I love thee to the heart. Ha! Tattooed way out there.
That was different. That was love.
The second difficulty with being a martyr, Mary, is that you have to be dead to qualify. Well, you didn't die, thanks to me. You have 3 extra pounds of beef a week instead of 2. 2 extra ounces of cheese.
Which you were happy to eat.
We women have to look after each other. Let's learn the lines.
You sold me that first day so that you and your husband can eat.
Do you want me to learn these lines or not?
How can I play Sylvia? She's brave and strong. She could have done what I've done.
She didn't have to spend 8 months and 1 week on a convict ship. Anyway, you could pretend you're her.
No, I have to be her.
Why?
Because that's acting.
No way I'm being Rose. She's an idiot.
It's not such a big part. It doesn't matter so much.
You didn't tell me that before.
I haven't read it carefully. Come on, let's do the first scene between Sylvia and Rose. I have rested but indifferently, and I believe my bedfellow is as little pleased. Poor Rose, here she comes.
I could have done something for Rose. I should play Sylvia.
Good morrow, my dear. How do you this morning? Now you say, just as I was
You can't do the play about me. I'm in it. Where's the lieutenant?
She's teaching me some lines.
Why are you teaching me the lines?
We're not doing your scenes.
Well, do them.
You can read your own lines.
I don't want to learn them on my own. I'm waiting.
What are you waiting for, Liz Morden? A blind man to buy your wares?
Do the first scene between Sylvia and Melinda, all right?
Yeah, the first scene.
You start. You start. Welcome to town, Cousin Sylvia.
Welcome to town, Cousin Sylvia.
Go on, I envied you.
I envied you. You read it first.
Why?
Because I want to know how you do it.
Why?
Because then I can do it different.
I envied you. You're a treat in the country. For Shrewsbury, methinks, and all your heads of shire.
Why don't you read it? You can't read.
What? I'll teach you now.
Are you a friend now? Is that it? Mary the Holy Innocent and thieving bitch. Come
And why aren't you at work instead of at each other's throats?
I wouldn't talk a phrase if I were you, Mr. Hangman Ketch, Freeman,
crap merchant,
crapping coal, switcher,
I was only asking what you were doing. You know, friendly like.
Stick to your ropes, my little gawler. Don't bother the actresses.
Actresses? You're doing a play?
That and darts and the Paddington frisk in your arms, no,
Oh, those on you, Liz, if you're not careful.
I'd take a leap in the dark soon than turn off me own kind and take your whirligigs out of our sight. We have lines to learn.
Don't hang too many people, Catch Freeman. We need an audience.
Welcome to town, Cousin Sylvia. It says you salute.
Welcome to town, Cousin Sylvia.
Dreamt, my beloved Betsy, that I was with you, and that I thought I was going to be arrested. I hope to God there is nothing the matter with you, my tender Alicia, or with our dear boy. My darling tender wife, I am reading Proverbs, waiting till midnight, the Sabbath, that I might kiss your dear picture as usual. The patrols caught 3 seamen and a boy in the women's camp. Let thy fountains be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Oh, good God, what a scene of whoredom is going on there in the women's camp! Very hot this night. Captain O'Shea killed today one of the kangaroos. It is the most curious animal I ever saw. Almost midnight, my Betsy. The Lord's Day. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot, and subtle of heart. So she caught him and kissed him with an impudent face. Felt ill with toothache, my dear wife. My God, what pain. So she caught him and kissed him with an impudent face. I perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, cinnamon. Sarah McCormick was flogged today for calling the doctor a C. Midnight. This being Sunday, took your picture from its prison and kissed it. Oh, God bless you, my sweet woman.
Forgive me, sir. Please forgive me. I didn't want to disturb your prayers. I say 50 Hail Marys myself every night and 200 on the day. I'll wait outside, sir.
What do you want?
I'll wait quietly, sir. Don't mind me.
Why aren't you in the camp?
I should be. God forgive me, I should be, but I'm not. I'm here. I have to have a word with you, sir.
Well, get back to the camp immediately, can't you? I'll see you in the morning.
Don't call me that. I beg you, don't call me by that name. That's what I came to see you about, sir.
I was about to go to sleep.
I understand, sir, and your soul in peace. I won't take up much of your time. I'll be brief.
Well?
Don't you want to finish your prayers, sir? I can be very quiet. I used to watch my mother say her prayers, may her poor soul rest in peace. I used to watch her say her prayers every night.
Oh, get on with it!
Well, when I say my prayers, I have terrible doubts. How can I be sure God is forgiving me? What if he will forgive me, but hasn't forgiven me yet? That's why I don't want to die, sir. That's why I can't die, not until I'm sure. Are you sure, sir?
I'm not a convict. I don't sin.
To be sure, sir, forgive me. But if we're in God's power, then surely he makes us sin. I was given a guardian angel when I was born, like all good Catholics. Why didn't my guardian angel look after me better? I think he must have stayed in Ireland. I think the devil tempted my mother to London and both our guardian angels stayed behind. Have you ever been to Ireland, sir? It's a beautiful country. If I'd been an angel, I wouldn't have left it either. And then when we came within 6 fields of Westminster, the devils took over. But it's God's judgment I'm frightened of, sir. And the women's. They're so hard. Why is that?
Why have you come here?
I'm coming to that, sir.
Well, hurry up.
I'm speaking as fast as I can.
Look, I'm not going to
James,
sit here.
sir, James Daniel Patrick. After my 3 uncles. Good men they were too. Didn't go to London. If my mother hadn't brought us to London, may God give peace to her soul and be pretty into the hearts of hard women. Because the docks are in London, sir. And if I hadn't worked on the docks on that day, May 23rd, 1785, do you remember it, sir? Shadwell Dock. If only we hadn't left. Then I wouldn't have been there, then none of this would have happened. I wouldn't have become a coal heaver on Shadwell Dock and been there on that day, May 23rd, when we refused to unload because they were paying us so badly. I wasn't even near the sailor who got killed. It was wrong of the sailors. He shouldn't have done the unloading. But I didn't kill him. Maybe one blow, not to look too stupid, you know, just to show I was one of the lads, even if I wasn't. And then they caught 5 at random, and I was among the 5. And then they found the cudgel. But I only had that to look good. And then when they said to me later, you can hang or you can give the names, what was I to do? What would you have done, sir?
I wouldn't have been in that situation.
Forgive me,
Freeman.
sir, to be sure. But I only told on the ones I saw. I didn't say anything wasn't true. Death is a horrible thing. Poor sailor.
Freeman, I'm going to go to bed now.
I understand, sir, and when it happened again here, I had hopes of making a good life here. It's because I'm so friendly, see? So I goes along, and I'm the one that gets caught. A thief. I didn't do it. I was just there keeping a lookout, just to help some friends, you know. When they say to you, hang or be hanged, what do? What would you have done? God have mercy on the whore, the thief, the lame. Surely he'll forgive the hang. It's the women, sir. They're without mercy. Not like you and me, men. What I came to see you about, sir, is I heard them talking about the play. Some players came to my village once. They were loved like angels, Lieutenant, like angels. And the way the women watched them, the light of spring dawn in their eyes. Lieutenant, I want to be an actor.
I met with Napper Tandy and he took me by the hand, saying, how is old Ireland and how does she stand? She's the most distressful country that ever yet was seen. They're hanging men and women for the wearing of the green. Oh, the wearing of the green, oh, the wearing of the green. My native land I cannot stand for the wearing of the green.
With the authority of a parent, as the advice of your friend.
Friend. That's a good word. Short, but full of promise.
That you would take a coach this moment and go into the country.
Country can mean opposite things. It renews you with trees and grass. You go rest in the country. Or it crushes you with power. You die for your country. Your country doesn't want you. You're thrown out of your country. I like words. My father cleared the houses of the dead to sell the old clothes to the poorhouses by the Thames. He found a dictionary, Johnson's dictionary. It was as big as a Bible. It went from A to L. I started with the A's. Abecedarian, someone who teaches the alphabet or rudiments of literature. Abject, a man without hope.
What does indulgent mean?
How is it used?
You've been so careful, so indulgent to me.
It means ready to overlook faults. You have to be careful with words that begin with in. It can turn everything upside down. Injustice. Most of that word is taken up with justice, but the in twists it inside out and makes it into the ugliest word in the English language.
Guilty is an uglier word.
Innocent ought to be a beautiful word, but it isn't. It's full of sorrow, anguish.
I don't have much time. We start this in a few days. I have the biggest part.
You have a beautiful hand.
There is so much to copy, so many words.
I can write.
Why don't you tell Lieutenant Clark he's doing this?
No, I'm
afraid.
Diffident.
I'll tell him. Well, I won't. My friend Dabby will. She's, well...
Bold? Shy isn't a bad word. It's soft.
But shame is a hard one.
Words with two L's are the worst. Lonely. Loveless.
Love is a good word.
That's because it only has one L. I like words with one L. Luck. Latitudinarian. Laughter.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo!
we're ladies now. Wait till I tell my husband I've become a lady.
Yeah, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to this first...
Our pleasure, Mr. Clark. Our pleasure.
We have many days of hard work ahead of us.
Work? I'm not working. I thought we was acting.
Now, let me introduce the company.
We've all met before, Lieutenant. You could say we know each other. You could say we know each other in the dark.
It's a theatrical custom. The company is formally introduced to each other, Mrs. Bryant.
Mrs. Bryant? Who's Mrs. Bryant?
It's a theatrical form of address. You may call me Mr. Sideways.
If I could finish the
You're interrupting the director.
So we are, Mr. Hangman.
The ladies first. Mary Brennan is to play Sylvia. Liz Morden, who is to play Melinda, and Duckling Smith, who is to play Lucy, Melinda's maid.
I'm not playing Liz Morden's maid.
Why not?
I live with an officer, he wouldn't like it.
Just because she lives chained up in old Tosspot's garden.
Don't you dare!
You're not Smith! You're not playing Morden's maid, you're playing Melinda's. And Dabby Bryant, who is to play Rose, a country girl.
From Devon?
Yes.
So, bitch!
That's the ladies. Now, Captain Plume is to be played by Henry Cable, who seems to be late. It's odd. I saw him an hour ago. He said he was going to your hut to learn some lines, Wisehammer. Sergeant Kite is to be played by John Arscott, who did send a message to say that he would be kept at work an extra hour.
An hour? You won't see him in an hour.
You're not the only one with you wrinkles in your eyes, Brian.
Mr. Worthy will be played by Mr. Sideway.
I'm here.
Justice Balance by James Freeman.
No way I'm doing a play of an hangman. Words would stick in my throat.
Look, you don't have any scenes with him, Smith. Now, if I could finish the introductions. Yeah, Captain Brazen is to be played by John Wisehammer, and the small parts have still to be cast. Now, well, we can't do the first scene till John Arscott appears.
There won't be a first scene.
Bryant, will you be quiet? Please. The second scene. Wisehammer, you should read Plume. No, I'll read Plume myself. So, Act 1, Scene 2, Captain Plume and Mr. Worthy.
That's me, I'm at your command.
The rest of you can watch and wait for your scenes. Now, perhaps you could begin by reading it.
Oh, no need, Mr. Clark, I already know it.
Well, I'm afraid I shall have to read Captain Plume.
Oh, I know that part too. Do you want us to do both?
No, I think it's better if I do it. Shall we begin? Now, Sergeant Kite, that's John Arscott, has just left the...
Run it!
Bryant! I'll read the line before Worthy's entrance. None at present. 'Tis indeed the picture of Worthy, but the life's departed. Sideway? Where's he gone?
Oh, I'm preparing my entrance, Mr. Clark. I won't be a minute. Could you read the line again louder?
'Tis indeed the picture of Worthy, but the life's departed. What? Arms across, Worthy. I hope...
Oh, yes, I forgot. Arms across. I shall have to start again.
Come on!
Could you read the line again louder, please?
What? Arms across, Worthy.
My wiper! Someone's buzzed my wiper!
What's the matter?
There's a pickpocket in the company!
Chocolate a pot calling the kettle black!
My handkerchief!
Let's go on.
I can't do the engines without it! I've been practicing all night!
Now, let's imagine... Let's assume that Worthy has already entered. There it is. Now, I say, what arms across Worthy, methinks you should hold them open when a friend's so near. I must expel this melancholy... What are you doing down there, Sideway?
I'm being melancholy. I saw Garrick being melancholy once. That's what he did. Hamlet it was. Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt. Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt.
This is a comedy. It is perhaps a little lighter. Try simply to to stand normally and look melancholy. Now, say the line again. The audience won't hear Captain Plume's lines if your sobs are so loud, Sideway.
I'm still establishing my melancholy.
Say the line. I must expel this melancholy spirit. You see, comedy needs to move quite fast. No, actually, I think we'll cut that line and the two verses that follow and go straight on to worthy greeting Plume.
I like the word melancholy.
Greeting, yes. A greeting looks like this. Plume! Now, I'll change to say the next words. My dear Captain. That's affection, isn't it? If I put my hands on my heart like this.
Oh.
Now, welcome.
I'm not quite sure I do welcome. I think if you just say the line.
Quite. Right.
Simon, what are you doing?
I'm checking that you're safe and sound return. That's what the line says. Safe and sound return.
You don't need to touch him. You can see that.
Right, I'll put it all together and I'll check the different parts with my eyes. Right. Plume! My dear Captain! Welcome! Safe and sound return.
Sideway, it's a very good attempt. It's very theatrical. But you could try to be a little more natural.
Natural? On stage, Mr. Clark.
Oh, people must believe you. Garrick, after all, is admired for his naturalness.
Of course. Thought I was being Garrick. Never mind, natural. Quite. You're the director, Mr. Clark.
And I think you should look at me as you say the lines.
The audience won't see my face.
But the lines are said to Captain Plume. I'll go on. Plume says, I escaped safe from Germany. Shall we say America? That'll make it more contemporary.
You can't change the words of the playwright.
And sound home from London. You see, I've lost neither leg, nor arm, nor foot. Caesar, what? We're rehearsing. Would you
I
please...
see that well, Monsieur Lieutenant. I see it is a piece of theatre. I have seen many pieces of theatre on my beautiful island of Madagascar. So I've decided to play in your piece of theatre.
There's no part for you, Caesar.
There is always a part for Caesar.
All the parts have been taken.
I will play his servant.
Farquhar hasn't written a servant for Worthing.
She can have my part. I want to play someone else. There is always a black servant in a play, Monsieur Lieutenant, and Caesar is that servant. So now I stand here behind him, and I shall be his servant.
There are no lines for it, Caesar.
I speak in French. That makes him a more high-up gentleman if he has a French servant, and that is good. Now he gets the lady with the black servant. Very chic.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Actually, I would like to rehearse the ladies now. They've been waiting patiently and we haven't much time left. Would you go and see what's happened to Scott Freeman? Sideway, we'll come back to that scene another time. Okay. That was very good. Very good. Oh, a little, but very good. Now, we'll rehearse the first scene between Sylvia and Melinda. So, Morden and Brennan, if you'll come and stand here. The scene is set in Melinda's apartments, and Sylvia is already there. So, Morden, if you stand here, and Brennan, you stand facing her. Yeah.
Welcome to town, Cousin Sylvia. I emptied you a treat the country frustrating me thinks, nor earth to shine some most red face Philippines.
Morden!
Wait, I've finished my speech! Here we are, smoke, noise, scandal, irritation, tension, in short...
Morden! You know the lines very well.
Thank you, Lieutenant Clark.
But you might want to try and act them. Now, let's look at the scene. You're at home, and you're a rich lady. Now, a rich lady would stand in a certain way. Try to stand like a rich lady. Try to look at Sylvia with a certain assurance.
Assurance?
Confidence.
Yeah, like this. You've seen rich ladies, haven't you?
I've robbed a few.
How did they behave?
They scream.
No, I mean before you robbed them.
I don't know, I was watching their purses.
But have you ever seen a rich lady in her own house?
I used to climb to the big houses when I was a girl. I just stand there looking. I didn't take anything. I just stood there like this.
But if it was your own house, you'd think it was normal to live like that.
It's not normal to live like that. It's not normal when others have nothing.
When you're acting, you have to imagine things. You have to imagine you're someone different. So, now, think of a rich lady and imagine you're her. What are you doing?
If I was rich, I'd eat myself sick.
Me too! Potato!
Too Friday!
Can we get on with the rehearsal? Please! Brenham, it's your turn to speak.
Oh, madam, I've heard the town commended for its air.
But you don't consider, Sylvia, how long I've lived in it.
Yeah, I think you would look at her.
She did look at me.
Didn't she? Well, she will now.
For I can assure you that to a lady the least nice enough, no constitution would be good above half a year. Change for her takes to be most agreeable in any fright in life.
But for thee, my dear Melinda, don't put on such an air to me.
Excellent, Brennan. You could put a little more emphasis on the don't.
Don't. Your education and mine were just the same. And I remember the time when we never troubled our heads about air, but when the sharp air from the Welsh mountain made our noses drop in a cold morning at the boarding school.
Our education, Sylvia, was alike, but our temperament was not the same.
Yeah, that's a little bit more, but you needn't be quite so angry with her. Now, Morton, carry on. Brennan, rather.
Wait, I haven't finished yet.
Oh, you're quite right. Oh, please forgive me, Morton.
No, it's all right, Lieutenant. I don't have to.
No. Please do.
You have the constitution of a horse.
That's a lot better, Morton. But you must always remember that you're a lady. Now, what can we do to help you? Lucy.
A sheep duckling?
Lucy, you see that little piece of wood over there? Take that to Melinda, and that'll be your fan.
I'm not fetching nothing for Liz.
She's not Morden, she's Melinda, your mistress. You're her servant, Lucy. In fact, you should be in this scene. Now take her that fan!
Thank you, Lucy. I do much appreciate your effort.
No, you would not your head.
You can't add any words to the play!
Now, Lucy, stand behind Morton.
What do I have to say?
Nothing.
How they know I'm here? Why does she get all the lines? Why can't I have some of hers?
Brennan, it's your turn to speak.
So far as to be drunk by neither spleen, colic, nor vapours, I need no salt in my stomach.
Major Ross, Captain Campbell, we're rehearsing.
Oh, rehearsing? Rehearsing. Lieutenant Clark is rehearsing. Lieutenant Clark asked us to give the prisoners 2 hours so he could rehearse, but what has he done with them?
Other things, eh?
Where are the prisoners, Cable and Arscott, Lieutenant?
Oh, they seem to be late.
Well, while you were rehearsing, Arscott and Cable slipped into the woods with 3 others. So 5 men have run away, and it's all because of your damned play and your so-called thespists. And not only have your thespists run away, they've stolen food from the stores for their renegade escapade. That's what your play has done.
Well, I don't see what the play
I
is.
said it from the beginning. The play will bring down calamity in this colony.
I don't see what this...
The devil, Lieutenant, always comes through the mind. Here, worms its way with idleness and words.
Major Ross, I can't agree that
Oh,
this has
listen to
anything
me,
to...
laddie. You're a second lieutenant and you do not agree or disagree with Major Ross.
No discipline.
Caesar! She went with them and then came back.
Oh, that's all right. She's not in the play.
Yes, I am, please, Lieutenant. I am his servant.
John Weishammer!
I had nothing to do with it.
You're Jewish, aren't you? You're guilty. Cable was last seen near Weishammer's hut. Liz Morden. She was observed next to the colony's stores late last night in the company of Cable, who was supposed to be repairing the door. Liz Morden. You will be tried for stealing from the stores. Do you know the punishment? Death! By hanging! And now, you may continue to rehearse, Lieutenant.
The recruiting officer. A good title, all right. But a play. A play!
You can hear attentively while I relate my tale of misery. By my father was I once betrayed, and now I am alas a convict made. To please my brothers did I try so sore. I lost my youth and became a whore. I need to often a price I paid. Was bought before the judge this convict made. The judge his sentence to me addressed, which filled with agony my aching breast. Oh, botany bay must be conveyed for 7 years to be a convict made. For 7 years I toiled and grieved, and I cursed the day I became a thief. Oh, had I stayed for some honest trade, I'd never have been alas a convict made.
Luck! Don't know the word. Shifts its bob when I comes near. Born under a hated planet I was. Dad's a nibbler. Don't want to get cracked. Mum leaves. 5 brothers. I'm the only titter. I takes in washing. Then, me own father. Lady's walking down the street. He takes her wiper. She screams. He shoulder clapped. Says, look, it's Lizzie. She took it. I'm stripped. Beat him in the street. Everyone watching. So that night, I takes my dad's cudgel and I try and kill him. I prig all his clothes and I go to my older brother. He don't want me. Lizzie says, why try for a make when you can whack for a winnie? I'm no dimber mort, I says. They didn't ask you to be a swell Monisher sister. Men want Miss Laycock, don't look at your mug. So, I begin to summon Mother of Saints. I think I'm in luck when I meet a swell cove. He's a bobcoat. Sports a different wiper every day of the week. He says to me, it's not enough to say mossy-faced Lizzie. It don't bring no shyness no more. He shows me how to spice the swells. So, swell has me up the wall. Flash the pocket watch, I lifts it. But one time, I stir my stumps too slow. Swell squeaks beat, the snoozy is, I'm nibbed. It's up the ladder to rest, I thinks, when I goes up before the fortune teller. But no, the judge is a bobcoat, so not the king's pardon, and it's 7 years across the own pond. Jesus Christ, the younger on that ship. The sailors won't touch me. No rantum scrantum, no food. But here, the guff says new life. You can knock it here, Lizzie, I thinks. Bobcoat guff, this nippy nappy play not too much work. Good crew of rufflers, cable, Arscott. But no, Ross don't like me mug. I'm nipped again, and now it's up the ladder to rest for good. Well, Lizzie Morden's life. And you, Wisehammer, how did you get here?
Betrayal, barbarous falsehood, intimidation, injustice.
Speak in English, Wisehammer.
I am innocent. I didn't do it, and I'll keep saying I didn't.
It doesn't matter what you say. If they say you're a thief, you're a thief.
I am not a thief. I'll go back to England, to the snuff shop of Rickett and Loads, and say, see, I'm back.
I'm innocent.
They won't listen.
You can't live if you think that way. I'm sorry. 7 years and I'll go back.
What do you want to go back to England for? You're not English.
I was born in England. I'm English. What do I have to do to make people believe I'm English?
You have to think English. I hate England, but I think English. And him, our Scott, he ain't said nothing since they brought him in. But he's thinking in English, I can tell.
I don't want to think English. If I think English, I will die. I want to go back to Madagascar and take Malgassi. I want to die in Madagascar and join my ancestors.
It doesn't matter where you die when you're dead.
If I die here, I will have no spirit. I want to go home again. I will escape.
There's no escape.
This time I lost my courage, but next time I ask my ancestors and they will know the way.
There's no escape.
See? That's English. You know things.
My ancestors will help me.
There's no escape, I tell you. You go in circles out there. That's all you do. You go up there, you walk and walk. You go. You go up there. You walk and walk and you don't reach China. You come back on your footsteps if the savages don't get you first. Even a compass don't work in this foreign upside-down desert. Here, you can read. Why didn't it work? What's it say?
It says north.
Why didn't it work then? It was supposed to take me north to China. Why did I end up going around in circles?
Because it's not a compass.
I gave my only shilling to a sailor for that. He said it was a compass.
It's a piece of paper with north written on it. He lied. He deceived you. He betrayed you.
Madam, gentlemen, fellow players, we have come to visit, to commiserate, to offer our humble services.
Get out!
Liz, we've come to rehearse the play.
Rehearse the play?
The lieutenant's gone to talk to the governor. And we said we could come and see you. The lieutenant's asked me to stand in his place so we don't lose time. We'll do the first scene between Melinda and Brazen.
How can I play Captain Brazen in chains?
This is a theatre. We'll believe you.
When is Kite coming?
Madam, I brought you your fan.
I hear you want to stop the play, Lieutenant.
Half of my cast is in chains, sir.
That is a difficulty, but it can be overcome. Is that your only reason, Lieutenant?
Well, so many people seem against it, sir.
Are you afraid?
No, sir. But I do not wish to displease my superior officers.
If you break conventions, Lieutenant, it's inevitable you make enemies. This play irritates them.
Yes.
Socrates irritated the state of Athens and was put to death for it.
Sir?
Would you have a world without Socrates?
Sir,
In the Meno, one of Plato's great dialogues. Do you know it, Lieutenant? Socrates demonstrates that a slave boy can learn the principles of geometry as well as a gentleman.
Ah.
In other words, he shows that human beings have an intelligence which has nothing to do with the circumstances into which they are born.
I see.
Sit down, Lieutenant. It is a matter of reminding the slave boy of what he knows of his own intelligence. And by intelligence, you may read goodness, talent, the innate qualities of human beings.
Yes.
When he treats the slave boy as a rational human being, the slave boy becomes one. He loses his fear and becomes a competent mathematician. With a little more encouragement, he might become an extraordinary mathematician. You must see your actors in that light.
Well, I can see some of them, sir. But there are others. John Arscott.
John Arscott has been given 200 lashes for trying to escape. It will take him some time to see himself as a rational human being again.
Liz Morden.
Liz Morden. I had a reason for asking you to cast her as Melinda, Lieutenant. Liz Morden is one of the most difficult women in the colony.
Oh, she is indeed, sir.
Lower than a slave, full of loathing, foul-mouthed, desperate.
Exactly, sir, and violent.
Right. To be made an example of.
By hanging?
No, Lieutenant. by redemption.
The Reverend says he's given up on
Oh,
us.
the Reverend's an us, Lieutenant. I am speaking of redeeming the woman's humanity.
I am afraid there may not be very much there, sir.
Who knows what humanity lies hidden under the rags and filth of a mangled life? I have seen soldiers given up for dead, limbs torn apart, heads cut open, come back to life again. If you treat her as a corpse, of course she will die. Try a little kindness, Lieutenant.
But will she be hanged, sir?
I don't want to hang a woman, but you must help me, Rolf.
Sir?
I had retired from His Majesty's service, Rolf. I was farming. I don't know why they asked me to rule over this wretched colony of human souls, but I will fulfill my responsibilities. No one will stop me.
No, sir.
What are a statesman's responsibilities? To ensure the rule of law. But the citizens must be taught to obey that law of their own free will. I want to rule over responsible human beings, not tyrannize over a group of animals. I want there to be a contract between us, not a whip on my side, fear and terror on theirs. But you must help me, Rolf.
Yes, sir. The play has...
It won't change much, but it is the diagram in the sand that may just remind the slave boy. Do you understand?
I think so.
We may fail. I may have a mutiny on my hands. They're trying to convince the Admiralty that I am mad.
Sir!
And they will threaten you too. You don't want to be a second lieutenant all your life.
No, sir.
I cannot go over the head of Major Ross in the matter of promotion.
I see.
But we have embarked, Rolf. We must stay afloat. There is a more serious matter, and it may capsize us all. If a ship doesn't come within the next 3 months, the supplies will be exhausted. In a month, I will cut the rations again. Harry isn't well. Can you do something? Good luck with the play, Lieutenant. Oh, and Rolf.
Sir?
Unexpected situations are often matched by unexpected virtues in people. Are they not?
I believe they are, sir.
A play is a little world in itself. A tiny colony, one could say. And you are in charge of it.
I will lay down my life if I have to, sir.
Well, I don't think it will come to that, Lieutenant. You need only do your best.
Yes, sir. I will, sir.
Excellent.
It's a wonderful play, sir. I wasn't sure at first, as you know, but
Good.
now I've written...
Good. I'll look forward to seeing it. I'm sure it will be a success.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Duckling! Duckling!
She's on the beach, Harry, waiting for a young Handy Baker.
Go away, Handy, go away!
The dead never go away, Harry. You thought you'd be the only one to dance the buttock ball with your troll. But no one owns a horse, come, Harry. You ran...
I didn't hang you!
You wanted me dead.
I didn't!
You wanted me hanged!
All right, I wanted you hanged, now go away!
Death is horrible, Mr. Brewer. It's dark, there's nothing.
Thomas Barrett, you were hanged because you stole from the stores.
I was 17, Mr. Brewer.
You led a very wicked life.
I didn't.
That's what you said that morning. I have led a very wicked life.
I had to say something, Mr. Brewer. It made sense of dying. I'd heard the Reverend say we were all wicked, that it was horrible, my body hanging, my tongue sticking out.
Well, you shouldn't have stolen!
I wanted to live, Mr. Brewer. Go back to England. I'd only be 24. I had plans. I was going going to have my farm, drink with friends, and build the strong legs of a girl around me.
Duckling!
Didn't you ever steal?
No! Yes, that was different. Duckling!
Why should you be alive after what you've done?
Duckling! Duckling!
What's the matter, Harry?
I'm seeing them.
Who?
All of them. The dead. Oh, help me.
I heard you screaming from the beach. You having another bad dream?
Oh, I see them. Let me come inside you.
Now,
Please.
will you forget all your nightmares? Yes. Come then.
Duckling, what were you doing on the beach? You were with him, he told me. You were with Handy Baker.
Some dream lose their way and wander over the earth. Lost. But this is a dream no one wants. It has said, how can we befriend this clouded, hungry, and disturbed dream?
Well, here is some of your caterwauling cast, Lieutenant.
Governor said to release these prisoners.
Unchain White's hammer and a savage, Captain Campbell. Nah, she stays in chains. She's been tried tomorrow, and we don't want her sloping off.
I can't rehearse with one of my players in chains, Major.
Difficult, eh?
Well, we'll tell the governor you didn't need her, and take her back to prison.
No! We'll manage. Sideway, go over that scene you rehearsed in prison with Melinda, please.
I'm in that seat too, Lieutenant.
No, you're not.
Yes, she is. Yeah, she's my servant.
The rest of us will go from Sylvia's entrances. Wilful. Where's Arscott?
Oh, we haven't finished with Arscott yet, Lieutenant.
Punishment for escape, he fainted. 53 lashes left.
Caesar's next, after Morden's trial.
Brenham, are you ready? Weisshammer, I'll read Captain Plume.
Oh, the wee lieutenant wants to be in the play too. The wee lieutenant has promoted himself to convict. Well, we'll have you in the chain gang soon, Mr. Clark.
Major, we will rehearse now. Major, we wish to rehearse.
Well, no one's stopping you, Lieutenant.
Major, rehearsals need to take place in the utmost privacy. Secrecy, you might say. The actors are not yet ready to be seen by the public.
Not ready to be seen?
Major, there is a modesty attached to the process of creation which must be respected.
Modesty. Modesty! Sideway, come here!
Major, Sideway, stay
I tell that when he tried to countermand the order of a superior officer.
Obedience, first rule.
Sideway! Take your shirt off! $100 lashes in the series for answering an officer. Remember, Sideway? 300 lashes for attempting to strike the same officer. I have seen the white of this animal's bones. His wretched blood and his reeking convict urine have spilt on my boots. And he's feeling modest. Are you feeling modest, Sideway? Get it! Modesty! Brian, here! On all fours! Now, wag your tail and back, and I'll throw you a biscuit. Oh, what? You forgot? Because isn't that how you begged for your food in the ship? Now wag your tail, Bryant! Back! Oh, we'll wait. Brenham! Where's your tattoo, Brenner? Show us. I can't see it. Show us. Because if you can't manage, I'm going to help you, and I still can't see it.
What pleasures I may receive abroad are indeed uncertain, but this I am sure of. I shall meet with less cruelty among the most barbarous nations than I have found at home.
Come, sir, you and I have been jangling a great while. I fancy if we made up our accounts, we should the sooner come to an agreement.
Sure, madam, you won't dispute your being in my debt. My fears, sighs, vows, promises, anxieties, assiduities, jealousies have run on for a whole year without any payment.
Good that. Fears, sighs, promises, anxieties.
Captain Campbell, start our Scots punishment.
A year. And Mr. Worthy, what you owe to me is not to be paid under 7 years' servitude. How did you use me the year before? How did you use me the year before?
When taken advantage.
When taken advantage.
I care not for the thistle, and I care not for the rose. When bleak winds round us whistle, neither down nor crimson shows. But like hope to him that's friendless, when no joy around is seen. Our graves with love that's endless blooms are only mortal green. All the wearing of the green, all the wearing of the green. My native land I cannot stand for the wearing of the green. I met with Napatandi, and he took me by the hand, saying, "How is old Ireland, and how does she stand? She's the most distressful country that ever yet was seen. They're hanging men and women for the wearing of the green. Oh, wearing of the green, oh, the wearing of the green. My native land I cannot stand for the wearing of the green."
I don't want to do this.
Get on with it, Freeman.
You'll have to stand. Please, Liz. You'll have to stand. I won't hurt you. I mean, now. And if I have the measurements right, I can make it very quick. Very quick. She doesn't want to get up, Mr. Brewer. I'll come back another time.
Just hurry up, Freeman.
I can't. I can't measure her unless she gets up. If the rope's too short, it won't hang her. And if the rope's too long, it could pull her head off. I've always done my best, Mr. Brewer. But I've never hung a woman.
You've hung a boy.
You've hung a boy?
It was a terrible mess, Mr. Brewer. Don't you remember? It took 20 minutes and even then he wasn't dead. Do you remember how he danced and everyone laughed? I don't want to repeat something like that. Not now. They had to get hold of his legs to weigh him down.
Just measure her, Freeman!
I can't. Could you ask her to get up? She'll listen to you.
Oh, get up, you bitch. Get up! Now measure her!
The lieutenant has been talking to the governor again, Liz. Maybe he'll change his mind. Or at least he might wait until you've done the play. Still, I'll do my best. It's wrong, Mr. Brewer. It's wrong.
It's wrong. Death is horrible.
There's no food in the colony, and she steals it and gives it to Cable to run away.
It's true, Liz. You shouldn't have stolen the food. Especially when the lieutenant trusted us. Actors can't behave like normal people. Not even like normal criminals. Still, I'll be gentle.
I have plans.
Are you finished?
Yes. I have all the measurements I need. No, one more. I need to lift her. You don't mind, do you, Liz? She's light. I have to use a very long rope. A fig tree would be better. When will they build me some gallows, Mr. Brewer? You won't be shamed, Liz. No one will laugh at you. I'll make sure of that.
You could hang yourself.
Come on, Freeman, let's go.
Goodbye, Liz. You're a very good Melinda. No one will be as good as you.
Mr. Brewer?
You wanted me dead.
I didn't. You shouldn't have stolen that food.
Speak to her, please, Mr. Brewer.
What?
Tell the lieutenant I didn't steal the food. Afterwards, I want him to know.
Well, why didn't you say that before? Why are you lying now?
Tell the lieutenant.
Another victim of yours, another body. I was so frightened, so alone.
Mr. Brewer!
It's dark.
Let's get away! Get away!
Please tell the lieutenant.
First fear, the pain in the back of the neck.
I can't see. Oh, it's dark. Oh.
Ghosts in a multitude have spilled out of the dream. Who are they? A swarm of ancestors comes through unmended cracks in the sky. But why? What do they need? If we can satisfy them, they will go back. How can we satisfy them?
For I swear, madam, by the honour of my profession, that whatever dangers I went upon, it was with the hope of making myself more worthy of your esteem. And if I ever had thoughts of preserving my life, 'twas for the pleasure of dying at your feet.
Well, well, you shall die at my feet, or where you will. But you know, sir, there is a certain will and testament to be made beforehand. I don't understand why Sylvia has asked Plume to make her a will.
It's a proof of his love. He wants to provide for her.
A will is a proof of love.
No. She's using will in another sense of the word. He must show his willingness to marry her. Dying is used in another sense too.
He gives her his will to indicate that he intends to take care of her.
That's right, Lieutenant. Marriage is nothing. But will you look after her?
Plume is too ambitious to marry Sylvia.
If I'd been Sylvia, I would have trusted Plume.
When dealing with men, always have a contract.
Love is a contract.
Love is a barter of perishable goods, a man's word for a woman's body.
Debbie's right. If a man loves a woman, he should marry her.
Sometimes he can't.
Then she should look for someone who can.
A woman should look after her own interests, that's all.
Her interest is to know.
A woman will love the first man who knows how to open her legs. She's called a whore and ends up here. I could write scenes, Lieutenant. Women with real lives, not these Shrewsbury prudes.
I've written something. The prologue to this play won't make any sense to the convicts. In ancient times, when Helen's fatal charm, and so on. I've written another one. Will you look at it, Lieutenant? You mustn't trust the wrong people, Mary. We could make a new life together. Here! I would marry you, Mary. Think about it. You would live in a house with me. He'll have to put you in a hut at the bottom of his garden and call you his servant in public. That is his whore. Don't do it, Mary.
Lieutenant, are we rehearsing or not? Our Scott and I have been waiting for hours.
Yeah, it seems interesting. I'll read it more carefully later.
You don't like it?
I do like it. Perhaps it needs a little more work. It's not Farquhar.
Do you think it should be longer?
We'll talk about it another time.
Shorter?
I'll think about it.
Do you like the last two lines? Mary helped me with them.
Ah.
The first lines took us days, didn't they, Mary?
We'll rehearse Sylvia's entrance as Jack Wilful. You're in the scene, Wisehammer. Bryant, we'll get to your scenes in a minute. Now, Brennan, remember what I showed you yesterday about walking like a gentleman. I'm having breeches made for you. You can practice in them tomorrow.
I'll tuck my skirt in. Save ye, gentlemen.
My dear, I'm yours.
It doesn't say anything about Sylvia being kissed in the stage directions.
Plume kisses her later, and there's the line about men kissing in the army. I thought Brazen would kiss her immediately.
It's completely wrong!
It's right for the character of Brazen.
No, it isn't! I'm the director, Wisehammer.
Yes, but I have to play the part. They're equals in this scene. They're both captains, and in the end, fight for her. Who is playing Plume in our performance?
I will have to. Miss Cable hasn't come back. It's your line.
Will I be given a sword?
I doubt it. Let's move on to Kite's entrance. Ascot has been waiting too long.
Sir, if you please.
Excellent, Ascot. We should just wait till we give you our last line so you'll know when to come in. Wisehammer!
The fellow dare not fight.
That's when you come in.
Sir, if you please.
What about me? I ain't done nothing neither. You always rehearse the scenes with Sylvia.
We'll rehearse the scene where Rose comes on with her brother Bullock. It's a better scene for you, Ascot. Do you know it?
Yes.
Wisehammer. You'll have to play the part as Bullock.
What? Play two parts?
Major Ross won't let any more prisoners off work. Some of you will have to play several parts.
It'll confuse the audience. They'll think Bullock is Brazen and a Brazen Bullock.
Nonsense. If the audience is paying attention, they'll know that Bullock is a country boy and Brazen a captain.
What if they aren't paying attention?
People who can't pay attention shouldn't go to the theatre!
If you act well, they will have to pay attention.
It'll ruin my entrance as Captain Brazen.
We have no choice. And we must turn this necessity into an advantage. You will play two very different characters and display the full range of your abilities.
Our audience won't be that discerning.
Oh, their imagination will be challenged and trained. Bryant, will you start the scene?
I think the recruiting officer's a silly play. I want to be in a place more interesting people in it.
I like playing Sylvia. She's brave and she breaks rules out of love for her captain and she's not ashamed.
She hasn't been born poor. She hasn't had to survive, and her father's the justice of the peace. I want to play myself.
I don't want to play myself. When I say kite slides, I forget everything else. I forget the judge said that we're going to have to spend the rest of our natural lives here in this place, getting beaten and working like slaves. I forget that out there it's trees and burnt grass, spiders that kill you in 4 hours, and snakes. I don't have to remember all the things I've done. I don't have to think about Cable. When I say kite slides, I don't hate anymore. I'm Kite and I'm in Shrewsbury. Can we get on with the scene, Lieutenant, and stop talking?
I want to be in a play that shows life as we know it.
A play should make you understand something new. If it shows you what you already know, then you leave it as ignorant as you went in.
Well, why can't we do a play about now?
It doesn't matter when a play is set. It's easier if a play is set in the past. It's clearer. It's easier to understand Plume and Brazen than some of the officers we know here.
Now, Ascot, would you start the scene?
Captain, sir, look yonder. 'Tis the prettiest, cleanest little tip.
Now, Worthy. Oh, he's in this scene. Oh, where's Sideway?
He's so upset about me, he won't rehearse.
Look, I'm going to talk to the governor, but he has to rehearse. We must do the play, whatever happens. We've been rehearsing for 5 months. Oh, let's go on. Ah, here she comes. And what is that great country fellow with her?
I can't tell, sir.
I am not a great country fellow.
Oh, act it, Wisehammer!
My chickens, young and tender chickens. This is a very silly line and I'm not saying it.
It's written by the playwright and you have to say it. Here, you chickens.
Who calls?
Oh, Bryant, you're playing a pretty country wench who wants to entice her captain. You have to say that line with charm and blushes.
I don't blush.
I can't do this scene without sideway. Let's do another scene. Ask her. Let's do your long speeches. I haven't heard them yet. What? I still need sideway. Oh, this is irresponsible. He wanted the part. Somebody go and get sideway.
I'll do my first speech anyway, sir. Yes, sir. I understand my business. I will say it. You must know, sir, I was born a gypsy and bred among that crew till I was 10 years old. There I learned lying and catching. I was bought from my mother Cleopatra by a certain nobleman who for 3 guineas, liking my beauty, made me his page.
That's my story!
Bryant!
Why do I have to play a silly milkmaid? Why can't I play kite?
You can't play a man, Dabby.
You're playing a man, Jack Wilful.
Yeah, but in the play, I know I'm a woman. Whereas if you were to play kite, you'd have to think you were a man.
If White can think he's a big country lad, I can think I'm a man. People will use their imagination, and people with no imagination shouldn't go to the theatre.
Bryant, you're muddling everything.
Nah, I see things very clearly, Lieutenant, and I'm making you see clearly. I want to play kite.
You can't play kite. I'm playing kite. You can't steal my part.
You may have to play Melinda.
Oh, she does is married sideways, and that's not interesting.
I'm sorry I'm late, Lieutenant. I've learnt all my lines.
We'll rehearse the first scene between Justice Balance and Sylvia. No, us. Brenham.
Whilst there is life, there is hope, sir. Perhaps my brother may recover.
We have but little reason to expect it.
I can't. Not with him. Not with Liz. I can't.
Well, one has to transcend personal feelings in the theatre.
Terry!
Oh, we're not making much progress today. Let's end this rehearsal.
If you live, I'll never again punish you in my silence. If you live, I'll never again turn away from you. If you live, I'll never again imagine another man when you make love to me. If you live, I'll never tell you I want to leave you. If you live, I will stay with you. If you live, I will look after you. If you live, I'll be wet and open to your touch. If you live, I will speak to you. If you live, I'll look at you. Oh, if you live, I will be tender with you. If you live, I'll answer all your questions. Oh, if you live, I love you. And if you die, I'll never forgive you.
Captain Plume, I despise your listing money. If I do serve, 'tis purely for love. Of that wench, I mean, for you must know, etc. So, you only want an opportunity for accomplishing your designs upon her. Well, sir, I am satisfied as to the point in debate, but let me beg you to lay aside your recruiting airs, put on the man of honour and tell me plainly what usage I must expect while under your command. Tell me plainly what usage I must expect while under your command. And something tells me that if you do discharge me, 'twill be the greatest punishment you can inflict. For were we this moment to go upon the greatest dangers in your profession, they would be less terrible to me than to stay behind you. And now your hand, this lists me. And now you are my captain.
Your friend. His death, there's something in this fellow that charms me.
One favour I must beg. This affair will make some noise.
Sylvia.
I must therefore take care to be impressed by an Act of Parliament.
What you please as to that. Will you lodge at my quarters in the meantime? You shall have part of my bed. Sylvia. Mary.
Am I doing it well? It's not the walk, it's the way you hold your head. A man doesn't bow his head and never at an angle. I shall try to face you without lowering my head. Let's try it again.
What you please as to that. Will you lodge at my quarters in the meantime? You shall have part of my bed. Mary. Will you?
Yes.
Don't lower your head. Sylvia wouldn't. I've never seen the body of a woman.
Your wife?
It wasn't right to look at her. Let me see you.
Yes. Let me see you.
Yes.
Listen for a moment, lads, and hear me tell my tale. How o'er the seas from England shores I was compelled to sail. The jury says he's guilty, sir, and says the judge, says he. For life, Jim Jones, I'm sending you across the stormy sea. And take a tip before you ship and join the Iron Gang. Don't get too gay at Bodley Bay, or else you'll surely hang. Or else you'll surely hang, says he. And after that, Jim Jones, from high upon a gallows tree, the crows will pick your bones. For day and night the irons clang, and like poor galley slaves, we toil, and when we die, must fill dishonored graves. But by and by I'll break my chains, into the bush I'll go, and join the brave bush rangers there, Jack Donahue and Co. And some dark night when everything is silent in the town, I'll kill the tyrants one and all, I'll shoot the floggers down, I'll give the law a little shock, remember what I say. They'll yet regret they sent Jim Jones in chains to Bodney Bay.
She refused to defend herself at the trial. She didn't say a word. This was taken as an admission of guilt, and she was condemned to be hanged. The evidence against her, however, it's flimsy.
She was seen with Cable next to the food stores, and that is a finger in fact.
She was seen by a drunken soldier in the dark. He admitted he was drunk, and that he saw her at a distance. He knew that Cable was supposed to be repairing the door, and she's known to be friends with Cable and Ascot. But she won't speak. She won't say where she was, and that's our difficulty.
Oh, she won't speak because she's guilty.
Silence has many causes, Robbie.
She won't speak, Your Excellency, because of the convict code of honour. She doesn't want to beg for her life.
Convict code of honour. This plummet play has muddled the Murphy Lieutenant's mind.
My only fear, Your Excellency, is that she may